Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Thought about somebody, you know, wherever you tell somebody you're psychic, you know, like you gotta share with somebody, like, hey, I say you got to, but it's just a certain situation where, you want to be upfront with somebody and back, bro. And again, as I'm saying this, we all have the abilities to be, these extrasensory perception abilities, extrasensory meaning outside of the five sensory, outside of the five senses, taste, touch, smell, and that other good stuff. We have these extra sensory perception abilities as well. But I thought about how somebody could be like, like, oh man, you psychic. I thought about like telling people, so I caught a vision of letting people know about, I let y'all know how I'm getting these downloads about sporting events. And, I'm not one that's like, of course I'm always been into sports growing up, stuff like that, but I don't watch it as much as I used to because of the way, the obvious ways of it being fixed is becoming even more and more obvious. But anyway, we're telling people about my certain predictions and, stuff like that. And somebody could be like, well, if you're so psychic, then why you can't fix everything in your life? Or if you're so psychic, why you don't know what I'm about to say? Or, and with that, I would say it was reason why, with our psychic abilities doesn't give us the answers to everything in essence, because that points back to, the vibe of how I always talk about with us being here on this experience. If we were God with all of, source with all its abilities and with all of its knowledge, then what would we have to experience if we know everything and could do everything? Like, what different things would we experience or go through if we all the same thing with all the same knowledge and all doing the same thing? Like there would be no growth, there would be no experience. So, if I was able to read, the minds of every single, how can I say, person, place, or thing, or if I was able to think about just reading the minds of people, then again, I would know the end to the movie. Like we here in this movie, we have this this experience that we signed up for. But what would the experience be if I knew, like, oh, I read that person's mind, and like you read the mind of somebody that knows a lot about all of not say all of creative, but you read the mind of different people that know a lot about different things on this plane that will again get to be to a level where you know so much to where you wouldn't have no experience. Think about like when you want to watch a movie and you let that person, you haven't watched a movie and you let a person know when they talking about, like, wait, whoa, don't say the end or don't speak on it, because I still want to watch it, And part of the reason why the majority of us, feel that way about movies, because, the movie is more interesting when you don't know what's going on in it, Like, if the ins and the outs to the movie, it takes that suspense and that enjoyability, from out of the experience, again, when, like, say for instance, of course, The Lion King might be your favorite movie, and you could watch it over and over again and get a good feeling from it, but there ain't nothing like that first time you watched it where everything was like, oh shit, oh man, Mufasa died, it was more of a experience that first time around. But again, with the psychic abilities, if I could read and know everything, like if I know what's gonna happen tomorrow and why for the whole world, and what's the point in me having the experience and the rest of the world, like, hey, everybody in the world, this is what's gonna happen tomorrow, this and that, this and that. Then what the fuck is the point of us being here if we all could just run the story to each other? You know, it's like, that's why, like, again, with us doing these energy updates and speaking on certain things, you know, our like I said, our channel information be kind of, I don't want to say, I think vague is the word for it, or just, you know, it be kind of general to a certain extent, or, you know, may not be pointing to extremely specific events or certain things like that, because again, it's a part of the experience, it's a part of the divine art of the game, you know. I think about the video I did with you know, speaking about like, matter of fact, Autobiography of a Yogi. If you haven't read that book, it's a pretty good book. An Autobiography of a Yogi, where, you know, Paramahansa Yogananda come across this other female yogi who knows how to basically, she hadn't eaten in years, and she knows how to be a breatharian, and she, you know, basically gets her nutrients from the pranic, you know, energy through breath. But he was like, oh shoot, well, he's like, since you know how to do that, we should teach the world, you know, how to do this breathing technique so everybody could, you know. It's like, man, we would end all suffering, nobody would. But he was, you know, being a little too ahead of himself in the essence of not thinking about everybody's purpose, because again, she was like, well, you know, of course, you know, people learning how to be breatharians would be a, you know, a good thing in essence, but it was like in so many words. But, you know, you're looking from it from a closed perspective, because she was like, the farmers wouldn't like me if I made everybody breatharians, like all the people who farm land and, you know, plant trees and like to tend the garden, stuff like that. Like, those people wouldn't love me. She's like, you know, the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that wouldn't love me, because then they would no longer, I would just, because think about it, if we were breatharians today, then every single particle that we consider to be as food serves no purpose, you know, for the most part. You know, just some type of thing just growing, but it don't serve no purpose. And matter of fact, again, it's just getting away because we're not gonna eat it, you know. But it serves that purpose. You can say, well, again, like, and that's why I like with why things gotta live or die, this and that, you know. Again, that's just a part of us, you know, being in a process that gives purpose to what we do, you know. Because if you was down here forever and ever, and you knew you would be down here forever, you wouldn't be learning shit. Think about when we have something to work on and we got a time limit, compared to where if somebody tells us to work on something and we don't really have that sternness or no time limit to it, where we kind of just a fuck off and this and that. Next thing you know, we ain't really did what we were supposed to do. Compared to like when we got that time limit, it's like, shit, I gotta, you know, make sure I get it in this little time limit, you know. But again, with the psychic energy, you know, it would take away the divine order of us living through our soul purpose if, you know, each one of us was extremely psychic to knowing everything. And of course, there's an asterisk by this. You may have some avatars or certain aspects of source that may come down here on this physical plane and be able to tap into the knowledge on that level. And in certain little areas, again, because certain little windows where, you know, we do get specific information on certain things, because it's, you know, again, because it's beneficial, you know. But again, and that speaks to my video too. I forgot the name of it, but on the divine order of like with Tupac or certain people transition and stuff like that. You know, there's a certain divine order, and when some of us, you know, tend to buck the system too quickly, you know, or take things out of that order, you know. So say for instance, if that lady who knew how to help people to become breatharians, you know, would have been trying to, you know, make that happen for everybody, you know, again, that would have thrown off the balance of things. So something, you know, And again, God is everything. So some energy, you know. Again, it's like God stopping itself. So nobody's dying in that situation anyway. You know, like when we say a Tupac died or a Michael Jackson died, you know. And I'm not, and as I'm saying this too, is not to say that that somebody did unrighteously, you know, for so many words unrighteously, you know, cause those brethren to transition, and that their transition is like, oh, it's okay for them, because that's another thing too, like you know, not condoning that energy that caused them brethren to transition, but from a human perspective. But again, on an energetic level though, it was allowed to happen, you know. Source greatest soldiers would not be touched unless there's a reason. You know, them certain soldiers get touched for a reason, and it has to be because somebody in the higher up in some way, form, or fashion allowed for them to be touched. You know, so, but again, back to the psychic energy. You know, somebody smart ass like, oh, why, you know, a psychic can't read my mind right now, know everything I know. It's, you know, again, would take away, you know, take away the divine order of people living out, you know, their life purpose. Telling you all the information that's going down in the movie, telling you everything that's going down in the movie. Now you don't even want to watch the movie. But basically, it back in the old baton, the red stick. But peace, happy now. Now is the vibrator, of course. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past, right now.